Yep.
10 seconds.
Yes. Yeah, it's all right. Okay. Testing, 1, 2. Welcome to Kingston Heath Soccer Complex for NPLW football on a Friday night.
That's beautiful. I'll wait for the operator to...
Okay.
Should be good. Yep, all good. Yep.
fairly different beginnings to the campaign. Bentleigh coming into tonight's game in desperate need of a reversal of their recent fortunes and coming up against a Boroondara team flying high under new coach Luke Avar this season. With kickoff just a minute or so away, we will quickly run you through the two starting lineups, both before and after the opening whistle that comes from our central referee tonight, Angelique Katsalis. And indeed, we are underway at Kingston Heath as the Greens look to reverse their recent fortunes, albeit it'll be anything but a straightforward task against the Boroondara Eagles, that is, coming off the back of a highly impressive 3-0 win against the in-form Alamein, and aiming for what would be a 5th win in 6 NPLW games, a 3rd one in a row as well. Which tells you all you need to know about how well Boroondara are going so far this season. And with that in mind, it's little surprise that Luke Avar has named an unchanged 11 for tonight's game when compared to last week's game against Alamein. That team in goal: Mia Mossman, number 2, Emily Collier, number 4, Kanako Higuchi, number 8, Ellen Turner, 9, Rachel Sturton, 10, Hayley Gertz, 11, Priya Saveri-Rayan, number 12 is Candy Ferreira-Bass, 15, Felicity Georgopoulos, 21, Saki Nagai, and 25 is Drew Dempsey. For Bentleigh, on the other hand, coming off the back of a frustrating defeat at Cross Keys against Essendon Royals, they certainly didn't make life easy for their hosts, but ultimately came away empty-handed. Their newly appointed coach Dario Simonic has made a couple of changes to his 11 for tonight's game, both in attack, as Emily Keppins and Coco Parker are brought into the starting lineup. Ellie Torre drops to the bench as a result, whilst the big absence for Bentleigh Greens tonight is Delaney Kenny, one of the scorers last week and Bentleigh's equal top scorer this season alongside Sydney Allen, is unavailable for selection. Just running through the rest of the team for the hosts. In goal, Taylor Murphy. Number 3, Izzy Fernandez. Number 4 is Sydney Allen. 5, Ash Lefebvre. 8, Caitlin Story. Number 9 is Emily Keppins. 10, Coco Parker. 12, Reagan Bridges. 13, Belinda Stojcevski. 14, Analia Kopoulis. And 17, Karina Tolios. So we see an early moment of possession for the hosts, Bentleigh. Come into tonight having lost their last 3 league games, haven't won since back in March. So after a decent first month of the campaign, things have quickly gone downhill for Bentleigh, far from beyond recovery. And they'll be hoping that they can start to get some points for what have been some decent performances in the last couple of weeks, when you consider that loss to the Royals 3-2. A couple of weeks prior to that, the 4-3 loss against Preston. They've been finding the back of the net and making life difficult for some more fancied opponents. Just as of yet, haven't been able to translate that into points on the board. This is Saveri-Rayan for Boroondara, uses the support of Ferreira-Bass. Candy Ferreira-Bass, who scored a double last week as part of her team's 3-0 win against Alamein. Now Belinda Stojcevski looks over to the right-hand side, nicely cut out. And looking to carry it in the opposite direction is Saki Nagai. Doesn't get too far, as now Bentleigh will themselves look to take the ball forward. And the foul called in pretty straightforward fashion, just for the dangling leg left out. Bringing down Drew Dempsey on that left flank for Boroondara. Now this is Higuchi. Playing it back out to the left-hand side of defence with Emily Collier, who uses Dempsey again. Looking inboard and finding Nagai. Stojcevski stepping out of defence and looking to clear the ball. We will have a pause here, as there is some Bentleigh Greens concern early on in the contest. And what looks to be Analia Kopoulis on the ground and receiving some treatment. So not an ideal start for the hosts. Just in that last tangle of legs, Leakopoulos seeming to be caught. So some concern for the Bentleigh, well, usually a defender, but been playing in a midfield role this season, stepping up to the base of the centre part of the pitch usually. Of course, coming up against her former side tonight is Leakopoulos, signing from Boroondara during the off-season. Does look to be back on her feet, and hopefully it's nothing that will force her out of the game at this early stage. Anna Leakopoulos, who will make her way to the sideline just to ensure that all is in working order to continue with the match. And indeed, Boroondara will get us back underway with the throw straight to Belinda Stojcevski, and the Greens will restart from the back. Bridges under a little bit of pressure applied by Sturton, but did enough to get the ball away. Allen now uses the support of Tolios. Back in towards her captain, Sydney Allen. On the score sheet last week against the Royals with a really clean finish on the counter-attack. Tolios retreats to Stojcevski, and now the ball sent up forward, but the offside flag will curtail the Bentleigh attack. Boroondara coming into this season largely unknown in terms of what they would present in terms of a challenge to the competition. Of course, coming up from the VPL and taking the competition by storm a couple of years ago, making it to finals and proving to be one of the most entertaining outfits in Victorian football. Somewhat crashing back to earth last campaign and parted ways with John Kyrgios, of course, as head coach, and you might say taking a bit of a punt on young head coach Luca Var, but things have certainly paid off up to this point. Right in the conversation for finals and the upper end of the NPLW ladder. This is Nagai for Boroondara. Turning onto a left. Has the support of Sturton. Nagai with the shot. That one always looked as if it had a little bit too much height, but it's the first shot Nanga of the evening. And gets a warm applause from head coach Luca Var as well. Boroondara looking to carry forward the momentum from recent weeks and put their hosts under a bit of pressure. We know with the slate of results that have gone against the Greens, if this game starts to look unfavourable, the pressure will just build incrementally, and Boroondara will be hoping that maybe they'll get some reward from that. This is Sydney Allen. Plays it out for a Boroondara throw. Should mention our central referee tonight, Angelique Katsalis, supported by Daphne Ganaris and Liana Georgiev as the assistants, as well as fourth official Emma Borschman. Ash Lafleur for the Greens sends the throw up towards Emily Keppins. Lafleur this time looks towards Parker. Ball inboard met by Higuchi. Now this is Leakopoulos looking out to the right-hand side. Sets Fernandez a task. The winger just unable to keep the ball in play. Ball inboard met by Sturton. Looking ahead, hoping that Severi Rayan can latch onto that ball. Turner. Met by Lefebvre. And now Bridges sends it clear. Fair to say plenty of the early phases of this game being played in the Bentleigh half. Boroondara just slowly easing the pressure onto their hosts as that pass that will relieve the pressure valve. Felicity Georgopoulos a little bit overzealous. Allen tries the through ball. Cut out at the crucial moment though. Now Severi Rayan looking to get around Ash Lefebvre. And showing the pace that she's got. This is Priya Severi Rayan. Turns one way then the other. Just manufactures some space. The cross inside is a good one too. A really nice run made down the right hand side. Severi Rayan, one of the new recruits for Boroondara. Played last season for Melbourne Uni, just 20 years of age. But now it's the Greens who are looking to punish on the counter. Izzy Fernandez gives chase. This time, looked as if she got there before the ball went out, but wasn't able to keep her cross in play. Hayley Gertz looking to carry the ball out from Boroondara. Seen quite a number of those longer balls played from both teams. Allen goes to ground, but referee not interested. Now Leakopoulos out to Parker. Coco Parker skips past Turner, gets the cross inside. Come to Lumet though, and Boroondara will carry it out. Kanako Higuchi, the player making the intervention. This a stronger couple of minutes for the hosts. Bridges once again looking to release Parker, who has found some space behind Turner. Goes with the low cross. Well, rinse and repeat. Kanako Higuchi in the right place and sends the ball away. Offside flag there will allow Boroondara to regain possession. They opt to go through their goalkeeper, Mia Mossman. It's just been made to fret a little bit in the last few minutes. Now Boroondara charge forward again. Severi Rayan has a couple of options in the middle. Eventually gets the cross away to the far side of the post. Falls to Ferreira Bass. There's a strong coming together. Bridges did well. And Bentleigh get the ball clear. Now Parker. There's space on that right-hand side if they can get it to Fernandez. Kanako Higuchi, though, she's been so good at that all season. Just reads the ball quicker than just about anyone else. Once more steps out of the defensive line and allows Boroondara to restart their own attack. Tonight, the first game of the weekend of NPLW football. Plenty of exciting fixtures to come your way over the next couple of days. Some big games near the bottom of the ladder. Brunswick UVA against Spring Hills. The main one that's coming tomorrow, but of course the real big contests with Heidelberg hosting Preston and South Melbourne hosting Bentleigh. Very much the big hitters, at least in terms of stature of club, going head-to-head in a couple of should be really entertaining contests over the next 48 hours. And also, of course, creates opportunities for the likes of Boroondara, who, if they won tonight, could go equal top alongside South Melbourne on 18 points. For Bentleigh, they've got a little bit more legwork to do if they're to climb their way up towards those finals positions. Win tonight could lift them above Spring Hills. Still leave them 10 points off South Melbourne in top spot. Maybe not exactly where they're aiming this campaign, but just to give some perspective on how they've allowed the rest of the competition to steal a bit of a march on them. Turner's pass there, Cannon's into Parker. Bridges now for Bentleigh. Looks long and direct. Parker the target again. That one she wasn't able to take under a spell. Now Allen. Just to take on the charge by herself. Georgopoulos was there keeping her company. It's an important touch coming in from Collier. Higuchi out to Collier, looking for Dempsey. Falls into the path of Nagai, who's fairly clearly fouled by Caitlin Storey. Of course, also grand final weekend in the A-League women's competition. Melbourne victory in Central Coast Mariners, after which, of course, the impacts for this competition see the possibility of a number of big-name players back playing around the grounds in NPLW Victoria. Certainly enhance the quality of individual and hopefully entertainment value that this division is able to bring, which is certainly not lacking on the entertainment front. As the first 18 minutes of this game have demonstrated too. Both teams showing plenty of ambition with the ball, trying to get it forward and just apply a constant experience of pressure to their opposition. Speaking of which, this is Reagan Bridges, who very often is the player to pull the trigger from the back for Bentleigh. Sends it up. It's a difficult one for Keppins, and indeed it rolls through to Mossman. So once more we see the Boroondara build-up. Mentioned the possibility of a fifth win in 6 games tonight. One defeat in the last 6 weeks for Bentleigh, or for Boroondara, I should say, coming against their neighbours, Bentleigh Lions. They were beaten 3-0 on that afternoon. Just when we see the build-up for Boroondara, it was Bentleigh who were able to find and exploit a weakness there. Pressing, of course, famously can cause some real trouble for NPLW opposition, and it certainly did for Boroondara on that day. Bentleigh, though, perhaps not equipped to come out with the same approach tonight. Will back themselves more going from end to end as we see Caitlin Storey in the middle of the park using Leocopolis, hoping for Keppins, but Higuchi's stealing a march. Now this is Georgopoulos. Looks out to the left-hand side. Dempsey, well met by Karina Tolios. Nagai on the edge of the area for Boroondara. Attempted cross inside, met by Caitlin Storey. It's a clever turn from Dempsey to get away from Tolios. Still going Drew Dempsey, and that's eventually drawn the referee's whistle. So a dead ball opportunity for Boroondara. See the threats of mainly Sturton and Ferreira Bass floating around the penalty area. Ball is sent in. Closest though to the goalkeeper, Taylor Murphy. Strong claim. She looks to command her penalty area, the former Alamein shot stopper. Had a really nice floater with this game. Both teams having spells of control and being on top of the general play. Wouldn't really say that either has yet generated a high quality chance on goal. Both prodding their opposition, hoping to eventually locate a weakness for them to exploit. This is Ferreira Bass. Looks inboard and combines with Dempsey before looking to set away Sturton. Wasn't able to get there ahead of Bridges. And now Tolios does well to win her team a throw. Caitlin Storey into Allen. It's out towards Parker. This time Turner was well placed to cut it out. Lefebvre throwing her body into the challenge. Severi Rayan met by the strong challenge from Belinda Stojcevski. This is Parker. Assistance flag stays down. Parker cuts onto her right foot. Uses Storey, but the Boroondara defensive numbers pay off. Storey cutting it out, pinching it off the toes of Gertz, but lost her footing just as she was hoping to get the strike away, and that makes things fairly straightforward for Mia Mossman. This is a head-to-head that is generally weighed in favour of Boroondara up to this point. The Eagles winning both meetings between the teams last season. Just pause that thought as Severi Ariane once again uses her pace to get away from Lefebvre. That time, though, she let it run a little bit too far and out for a goal kick. These teams did meet at a similar time in last season here at Kingston Heath. That game was in round 11. I mentioned Boroondara getting the better of both meetings as we see some nice attacking play from Bentleigh. Parker and Keffins combined, but the final release ball to Fernandez left a little bit to be desired. Now Ferreira Bass sending Dempsey on a run. And there's nothing to come of it. The 3-2 Boroondara win at Kingston Heath last season was a highly entertaining spectacle. Well, the early signs of this game, even if we don't have a goal in the first 25 minutes, suggest it could be in for a similarly entertaining night. As we see Sturton look out to where she knew Severian would be. This time, though, Ash Lefebvre stops the danger before it can really get going. Leokopoulos runs into Georgopoulos. And Sturton's touch is just a little bit too heavy for her to take control. Ball over the top for Fernandez. Well, as has been the story of her night, just a little bit too much on it. Unable to keep the ball in play. Should mention with that 3-2 last season, the Boroondara won at this venue. All 5 of the scorers, or of the goals scored on that night by players who are no longer at these clubs. Gabby Holler, Correa Aquino, Anais Yusevsky. Not at Boroondara up to this point in 2025. And of course, Liv Bomford has moved on from Bentleigh. She scored both of their goals. It's a long-range shot, that one, but it's a straightforward claim for Mossman. More recent meeting, though, between these teams at Carey Sports Complex. That was also a Boroondara win. 3-0 on that occasion. Kino and Yusevsky scored on that day too. But Hayley Gertz, the other scorer, so we do have one player playing tonight who scored when these teams met last season. And that's the Boroondara captain, Hayley Gertz. Throw sent up towards Ferreira Bass. Severi Rayan. Nagai back to Turner. Again, tries the turn to Severi Rayan, and assistance flag will be all the invitation Angelique Katsalis needs to blow a whistle. And once more, there's a dead ball opportunity coming the way of Boroondara. They've been peppering the Bentleigh box at times tonight. And it will be Gertz to deliver. Sent in, almost found the head of Ferreira Bass. Now it's the forward's feet that has the ball. And we'll get a rinse and repeat. Another opportunity for Boroondara. So can they make one of these opportunities pay? Did score one of their goals from a delivery into the box last week. Candy Ferreira Bass's second, heading home from a corner. This ball goes along the deck. Bentleigh do enough to scramble it clear. Eventually, Karina Tolios is able to pick out Allen. It's fairly relentless pressure that Boroondara are applying on the ball. We see everywhere Bentleigh go. They're met by a Boroondara player closing down space, trying to win the ball back. It's also the case for Reagan Bridges with Sturton and Severi Rayan. will capitalise on Lefebvre giving it away. Severian, ball across goal, and somehow it's directed off target. That was as good a chance as we've seen tonight. I think it's Drew Dempsey who ultimately put it wide. Boroondara rewarded for their incessant pressure that they've been applying. And Severian has been very often the outlet who's looked the most dangerous. So Dempsey's chance goes begging, and as we tick past half an hour at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex, probably fair to say that the momentum in the game has certainly turned in favour of the visitors. Hoping to change that is Parker, her pass met by Gertz. Cleverly done by Tolios, but we'll have to get there ahead of Ferreira Bass. It's a Boroondara player who wins out though. This is Dempsey. Bentleigh do well though to get the ball clear at least initially. It's a sloppy giveaway from Bridges. There's a long range attempt from Dempsey, that one. Well, a little bit less likely than her last look at goal. And indeed goes well wide of Taylor Murphy's post. So will they be able to play their way through this incessant Boroondara press? They get away with it on this occasion, Bentleigh. Now there's a chance for Fernandez. The ball overhit just enough for Mia Mossman to come and clear. Allen, clever back heel. Chance perhaps for a shot to come in. Instead, Bentleigh will have to settle for a corner, but a much needed relief on the pressure valve from the Greens' perspective. They go down the other end and now to make life a little bit more difficult for their visitors. Sydney Allen, unsurprisingly, charged with the responsibility of delivering into the box. Plenty of options well, the likes of Bridges and Leokopoulos. Keppins all providing some height. This ball goes to the near post. Boroondara sent it away for a throw. Severian. Facing down Lefebvre, goes inside to Georgopoulos, back to the winger. Gives just enough time for Lefebvre to come back in cover. And a well-timed challenge from Reagan Bridges. Looked as if the ball would nonetheless end up at the feet of Severian. Bentleigh, though, have the numbers gain, and that pays off as they'll eventually come away with the ball. Parker now goes back to Storey. Storey creates some space for herself, uses Parker. And now Allen. Sliding it through towards Keppins. It's well read by Higuchi. Turns on the afterburners to get there ahead of her opponent. This is Parker now. Gets the cross inside. Fernandez with the touch. Still charging forward is Izzy Fernandez. Finds herself on the opposite side of the pitch. Looking to stand up Higuchi. Goes to ground and gets no sympathy from our referee. So Boroondara will be allowed to get the ball away. They have done a good job, the Eagles, at limiting the influence of Sydney Allen up to this point. It's been largely relying on the wingers for Bentleigh going forward. Both Parker and Fernandez. Parker getting on the ball more often than the winger on the opposite flank, but we saw Fernandez fed up with balls just out of reach, and this time takes it upon herself to carry the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. Not quite the outcome that she was after, though. This time it's the Bentleigh attacking pressure, which wins back the ball. Tolios goes with the crossfield ball, asks quite a lot of Parker, and Mossman, always favoured, gets there first. Foul called on Sydney Allen in the middle of the park. Did well to just poke the ball clear of Nagai and draw the contact. Dangerously given away. Sturton with an opportunity. Very nearly able to send Dempsey through with the ball. Waits for the reinforcements to arrive. One of them is Severi Rayan. Priya Severi Rayan resumes her battle with Ash Lefebvre. This time it's the veteran defender who gets the result she was after. And a strong response from the fullback. Lefebvre just inviting a bit of trouble. Ferreira Bass winning back the ball on the edge of the area. Thankfully for Bentleigh, the numbers were there to clear it. Severi Rayan's cross finds its way all the way to Dempsey. Plays it inside to Ferreira Bass. Back to Dempsey, who meets the brick wall of Caitlin Story. Boroondara just upping the pressure in the last 10 minutes of the half. There's an ambitious attempt, which, from our angle, it's tough to tell just how close it was. You saw the dip right near the end that would have had Taylor Murphy at least a little bit concerned. But happy to restart the play with a goal kick. This is Allen. Slides it towards Parker. Keppin's in the box. Parker happy to wait for a couple of extra numbers. Eventually gets the cross inside. It's an important header clear. Allen from a long way out. Never quite looked on balance to get the drive in the shot. Coco Parker getting some reward for her industry in this first half. Held the ball up very smartly that time. And Bentleigh almost rewarded because of it. They've really bounced back well within this first half after what was a really strong 10 minutes from the Eagles about midway through. Higuchi up towards Ferreira Bass. Looks for Georgopoulos, but only finds Allen. Now Leakopoulos. Parker slightly caught off guard by the pass and on her back foot. So we head into the final 5 minutes of first half regulation time. In a first half that has certainly delivered on the entertainment front, even with the absence of goals. You really do get the sense that Bentleigh are a better team than their ladder position suggests. Of course, still just a few games into the tenure of Dario Simonic, taking over from Ange Kutas about a month into the season. That ball's a good one for Parker. Turner tracking back, but won't get there in time. Parker's crossed inside. Getting there first was Collier. And the track back defending from the number 2. Just enough to get the ball behind for a corner. Emily Collier, one of a number of Americans on the park tonight, though signed most recently from football in Austria, has shown that she can be a real asset at both ends of the pitch, scoring as well as we saw just then, defending, managing some pacey opposition players. Now the Boroondara will once again have to ward off the corner delivery from Sydney Allen. This time an in-swinging ball. Headed well clear by Higuchi. It needs to initially Fernandez's follow-up cross. Met by Dempsey. For back to Izzy Fernandez. A clever touch to make some space. Now Leakopoulos. Again, closed down by Collier. Hoping to continue the attack as Bridges lunged a boot at it. But the best she can do is concede the goal kick. Ball one back for Boroondara. Chance for Rachel Sturton. Met strongly by Bridges. Collier now. Charging into the attack and trying her luck from distance. Skids along the deck and wide of the post though. Coco Parker doing really well to get herself in front position and tugged back as well, and that'll result in the first yellow card of the evening. Shown to Emily Collier, who's looks to have swapped on over to that side of the pitch. It's a bit unfortunate, maybe paying for the sins of Ellen Turner beforehand with that drag back, but this is a chance for Keppins met by Higuchi. So interesting to see Lukovar making that change, perhaps feeling that the threat of Parker is getting a little bit too concerning as we head into 1 minute of first half stoppage time. Chance for the cross to be sent in. Bridges, not for the first time tonight, reads it best. Sends it towards Keppins. Now Storer uses Allen. Sydney Allen plays it through the middle. Fernandez is onside. Izzy Fernandez goes a little bit wider than she maybe would have liked. And the cross inside is comfortable to clear for Gertz. It's been a strong end to the first half though for Bentleigh. Maybe time for one more look at the other end for the Eagles. That one cut out by Lefebvre. So with the ball in the middle of the park, see if our referee Angelique Katsalis allows for one more foray forward. The wingers have swapped flanks for Boroondara as well as Severi Rayan sends it in board. That'll only meet Lefebvre, and that'll be all the time we have in the first 45. A really entertaining game of football thus far, albeit 0-0 remaining the score. Boroondara coming out the stronger and enjoying the best or the better parts of the early moments in this game before Bentleigh coming home. The wind in their sails, finishing really strongly and posing a real threat at the other end of the pitch as well. So hopefully we'll get a second half as entertaining as that first, and maybe with some goals to boot. All things going well. But that's half time at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Welcome back to Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Second half underway. NPLW round 9 action. Bentleigh Greens 0, Boroondara Eagles 0. The score at the break. What was a thoroughly entertaining first 45 minutes of action. Both teams having their looks at goal. Bentleigh finishing strong after Boroondara had started the brighter. We'll see an early move down the left-hand side for the hosts, Bentleigh. This is Coco Parker, who was really the main attacking outlet for Dario Simonic's team in the first 45. Ball inside for Allen. Back outside to Parker, who's crossed inside, asks a bit of Keppins, and Mossman stretched the arms up and claimed the ball. So the first look into the opposition penalty area coming for Bentleigh. We'll see if Boroondara are able to quell the influence of Parker in particular, who was finishing that first half like a house on fire. Just saw there Priya Severian for Boroondara, who was herself looking red hot at times in that first 45 with the runs in behind, causing all sorts of trouble for Ash Lefebvre. Lefebvre, though, getting on top of the individual battle towards the end of the half, so we'll see how that one progresses too. Ball inside, hoping for Story. Does enough to get it out to Fernandez. Looking inboard to Keppins. Georgopoulos now for Boroondara. Sends it towards Sturton. And now Dempsey gives chase, but unable to retrieve the ball. A little bit of confusion as to how play is to be restarted. Eventually, the right message gets through, and Karina Tolios will restart play at the back for Bentleigh. It's, of course, a massive game for both teams. Boroondara nearer the top of the NPLW ladder. Bentleigh at the opposite end, both trying to make some progress towards their respective ambitions this campaign. This is Dempsey for Boroondara. Tolios getting back and sending it out for a throw. But as things stand, Boroondara would jump to 16 points from their opening 9 games. It would allow them to at least temporarily jump ahead of Boroondara and level on points with Alamein. And just a couple off South Melbourne on top. As for Bentleigh, hoping to take some steps clear of the relegation zone and maybe give themselves a chance to make some moves in the second half of the season once maybe some mid-season recruits come in and shake things up in the middle of the park. So we see Parker now for Bentleigh. Retreats to Leakopoulos. And sent back by Lefebvre to Bridges. Reagan Bridges chased down by Sturton. A textbook foul, that one, bringing down Coco Parker. Throw-in asks plenty of Keppins. Sent inboard eventually. Now Fernandez. Turner got there first. It's been all Bentleigh in the opening minutes of this second half. They're Coppolis, though, pressured by Ferreira-Bass. And a little shove. Referee happy that there wasn't sufficient contact to warrant a foul. Now Allen's chest does keep it in play. That could end up favouring Boroondara. Ferreira-Bass hoping to pick out Sturton. And Boroondara will get their chance in the Bentleigh half. Dempsey winning it off the toes of Tolios. And now Rachel Sturton for Boroondara. A couple of former Preston players going head-to-head as Sturton and Stojcevski in the stern challenge for the ball. Taylor Murphy for the Greens at the back. A little bit of a surprise that we've made it this far into the game without an opening goal when you just consider the number of times the ball's hit the back of the net in each of these teams' recent games. It's the 3-2 loss to Royals and 4-3 loss to Preston for Bentleigh in the last month. That ball through is a good one for Sturton. Meets the firm challenge, though, of Reagan Bridges. That being said, the last game here at Kingston Heath saw Bentleigh stung late from a corner against Boroondara Lions. Just about the last attack of the game was the only goal, headed home by Taylor Golden. So they'll certainly be hoping to avoid a repeat of that tonight, the Greens. For Boroondara, they've been scoring really for fun. Scored multiple goals. We'll pause our thought as the corner sent in and skims across a couple of heads. With the last touch coming off Bridges, so Boroondara will get another look. They have scored, Boroondara, multiple goals in 6 of their 8 NPLW games so far this season. A couple of times that they haven't, though, they've been kept out entirely. There's a couple of games against Box Hill and Bentleigh, both fairly straightforward defeats. The long-range shot comes in and forces the palm over the top from Murphy. Looked to be Ferreira Bass who fired it on goal. And Boroondara with their best look of the second half so far. We'll need one of the spare balls to be sent over to the corner flag. Hayley Gertz to deliver, takes some final instructions from her coach, Lugavar. This one sent in a little bit flatter than the last. Comes out to Dempsey, put it back into the area. Now Fernandez will look to lead the counter for the Greens. Into the path of Storey, who lifts it over towards Keppins. It was a clever through ball. Emily Keppins shot away, maybe didn't see Coco Parker in space on the left-hand side and not quite making firm enough contact to pose a significant threat to Mia Mossman. So both goalkeepers being made to work in the last couple of minutes. Once again, Caitlin Storey, that a clever reverse pass for Allen. Two captains going head-to-head. Sydney Allen gets past Gertz, inside towards Keppins. Draws the save from Mossman. Another look at goal for the number 9, leading the line for Bentleigh Greens. It was a quiet first half for the Greens forward, Emily Keppins. Wasn't quite able to get involved in some of her team's attacks, but that looks to have changed early on in this second 45. The player brought in from Brunswick Juventus, of course, has goal-scoring pedigree at this level with the FV Academy, then known as Emerging Team a couple of seasons back. Hasn't quite been able to get things rolling in Bentleigh colours as of yet. But a couple of promising early signs in this second half. Georgopoulos' ball. Ferreira Bass met a fairly physical challenge. Coming in from Bridges. But eventually Boroondara once again have the ball at their feet. Higuchi. Uses Turner, who retreats to a goalkeeper. It's a call from higher up the pitch just to keep a little bit of possession for Boroondara. And Emily Collier complies, sending it once more back to Mossman. Boroondara perhaps feeling that they just want to reassert a little bit of control in this second half after what's been fairly frenetic first 10 or 12 minutes. Mossman again meets the press of Parker, but is composed under the pressure. Now Collier hoping to release one of her teammates ahead of the ball. Ferreira Bass is the nearest to it, but Stojcevski had plenty of time to dispose of it. Boroondara readying their first change of the evening. Should expect to happen on the hour mark or just after. This is Dempsey. Clever ball towards Ferreira Bass. Candy Ferreira Bass. Strong challenge, Belinda Stojcevski. And a combination of Well, it looks in the end as if Fernandez and Tolios have done enough to get it away. Ball sent inside by Dempsey. That one always a comfortable claim for Murphy. Now, a moment of misfortune in the middle of the park as Caitlin Store's attempt to send the ball forward ends up tripping up our central referee, Angelique Katsalis, all taken in good humour though, so we'll get back underway with Bentleigh looking forward. And a drop ball on just about the halfway line. Sent forward, quick smart by Bridges. Hoping for Keppins, but Collins. Or I should say Collier doing an effective job getting in the right position to send the ball clear. Emily Collier, the only player to pick up a yellow card in that first half. As Ashla Ferb's ball inside will eventually fall into the path of Turner, who takes no chances, sending it into the night sky. Be a double change to come at the next break for Boroondara. A chance which may come now, as both Angelique Houndelis and Asia Duplessis are standing ready to make their bow. And Bentleigh may well also take the chance to bring Daniela Dupetta into this second half. Just over an hour played. So it's the end of the evening for both Ellen Turner and Rachel Sturton. And their place is taken by Houndelis and Duplessis. Whilst Dupetta wondering if she may have to wait till the next break and play for the change to be made. And indeed she will. So the couple of changes made by Lukavar. Angelique Houndelis, another one. Another entrance into her appearances tally for Boroondara. Made 6 starts last season. Not quite able to break into the first team for the majority of the campaign. I'll look to see what she can do in this last half hour of this contest. Asia Duplessis, the other player introduced, new recruit from Box Hill in the off-season. Severi Rayan for Boroondara. It's a good ball inside, but Stojcevski well positioned to send it away. Keppins. Clever pass to Allen, and now there's space for Fernandez to exploit. Izzy Fernandez looking to take on Collier. Kanako Higuchi, though, was there to sweep up. Now Ferreira Bass on the ball forward is well met by Tolios. Don't know how much she knew about it, but got a body in the right position. And that one will roll through for Taylor Murphy. It's one of those changes for Boroondara. Angeliki Hounderless has been sent out to the right fullback position, trying to keep tabs on Coco Parker, whose influence has been somewhat less significant so far in this second half. Collier coming over to this left-hand side to deal with Fernandez, who may be the player in line to be replaced by Daniela DePetta. We'll wait and see if that is the case. That ball through for Fernandez. Met by the aforementioned Collier, and a fairly clear-cut shove will draw the referee's whistle. So it won't be Fernandez. We'll see when the change is made. Just a bit of verbal there between Dario Simovic and the fourth official before the change could be made. It's Emily Keppins who will be withdrawn for Daniela DePetta. Her last 20 minutes were certainly her best. Got a couple of shots that tested Mia Mossman in that second half. So DePetta, they came off the bench last week against the Royals and made a real impact on the wing. Diminutive figure, causing some trouble for the Royals' defence, and makes this run in behind. That ball for Fernandez. The offside flag, though, means that it wouldn't have counted in any case. So Fernandez looking to move centrally to take up that position vacated by Keppins, as DePetta is on the right flank. Zaisha Duplessis. Couple of substitutes going head-to-head as DePetta stuck a toe in. This is Nagai looking towards Dempsey. That throw looking for Dempsey. Bridges uses her body smartly. So we'll get back underway with the goal kick as we approach the halfway point of this second half. Safe to say that the intensity in goalmouth action hasn't dried up to this point. Still just waiting for that opening score of the game. It's tough to argue that either side deserves it more than the other. They've both brought plenty to this contest up to this point. So those substitutions made. Dempsey pulls the trigger from outside the area. Yet to see really if the balance of the game will be meaningfully impacted by the changes in personnel. Still options on both benches to pose a threat, particularly in forward areas. You've got the likes of Georgia Candelas and Renee Sofronides still to potentially be used by Dario Simovic in this second half. It looks as if Bentleigh will be next to make a substitution as well. As the game just goes through, say, its first lull for a little while, as it refines its shape heading into the final 20 minutes of action. Sent well clear by Lefebvre. Back forward, picked up by Ferreira-Bass. Still Candy Ferreira-Bass goes across goal, an awkward one to deal with for Bridges. Some half-hearted appeals from the Boroondara bench for a handball. Lukavar retreats sheepishly into his technical area. Would have been a mighty harsh goal if that one were to go the way of a penalty. Corner sent in. Finds the head of Nagai, but that one had a little bit too much power on it for her to really take control and direct it where she wanted. And we will get another Boroondara corner to come. So for the first time really in this second half, a period of sustained pressure for the team in yellow shirts. Just making things a little bit nervy and uncomfortable for Bentleigh, who of course are desperate to break the losing run that they've been on. Once again, will feel like a defeat wouldn't be entirely warranted. This is Hayley Gertz arriving at the edge of the area, and we know that she can hit them. That one, though, well over the crossbar. Ferreira-Bass again. Support from Duplessis, and attack continued from Dempsey. Now Leakopoulos up towards Higuchi. Straight back to the Greens midfielder. And it really is end-to-end. Neither team able to just assert their control of possession for the last couple of minutes. Now Bentleigh will look to reverse the trajectory of the last period in this game and spend some time in the Boroondara half. That ball through could set away Drew Dempsey. Combination of Bridges and Stojcevski, who've been rock solid at the back so far tonight. Once again dealing with the threat. Allen trying to pick out the Fernandez run. Wasn't able to shape the ball quite right though. Parker charging down the left flank. Gertz sending it over the fence and out for a throw. Pressure on Boroondara to win these kinds of games. And they know that their rivals near the top of the ladder will more often than not be picking up 3 points. This game tonight, next week they're back home to take on FV Academy, so another game that they'll consider eminently winnable. And the premium on those points raised even further, knowing that after tonight and the game against Academy. It's a real gauntlet of away games, back-to-back taking on South Melbourne and Heidelberg at Lakeside and Olympic Village respectively. That will be maybe the real test for where this Boroondara team is at. They'd love to go into those really big clashes, continuing their winning run of late. The Greens, meanwhile, they're back here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex next Friday night when they'll host Alamein. So a similar challenge to what they faced so far this evening. That ball inside is a good one. Ferreira Bass opens the scoring for Boroondara. A wonderful finish, curling away from the goalkeeper and right into the top corner. And Boroondara snagged the lead with 15 minutes of regulation time remaining. A really wonderful finish from the really veteran Boroondara forward, Candy Ferreira Bass. And that finish has put her side in a fantastic position as we head towards the conclusion of this game. Bentleigh take the opportunity to make another change. Georgia Giuliani coming into the game, the Bentleigh youth player, getting her crack at senior level again this campaign, having made 4 senior appearances last season. She takes the place of Belinda Stojcevski for the remainder of this one. So is there to be a Bentleigh response? DePetta stealing in ahead of Duplessis to win back possession for the hosts. But once again, the Greens staring down the barrel of some late heartbreak. It's come earlier than it did against Bentleigh a couple of weeks ago, but do they have a response? Coco Parker might be the one to provide it. That touch, a little bit too heavy in taking it away from her. Things looking difficult once more for the Bentleigh Greens. It's mentioned next week at home to Alamein, then they head to the home of the Matildas to take on FV Academy. They need the wins to start coming sooner or later. It's then their turn to head to Lakeside and Olympic Village against South Melbourne and Heidelberg, as the offside flag draws some groans of discontent from the Bentleigh home support. Well, we do see the yellow card is brandished for, I think that was for Bentleigh head coach Dario Simonic, letting his feelings known after that last offside call, with which, well, he evidently disagreed. Well, you can understand some of the frustration. Bentleigh, they haven't played a game that they deserve to lose. But once again, they're right now looking like they might be coming up short. That is unless, of course, they can find something in this last, say, 15 minutes of second half football. It's worth mentioning that, mentioned earlier, the one-sided head-to-head, the 4 games these two teams have played against each other. Boroondara have won 3 of them. As we see, well, some bold goalkeeping from Mia Mossman, coming a long way out of her goal. But the one time that these teams met and Bentleigh came away with the chocolates was here at Kingston Heath a couple of years back, and that was off the back of 2 late goals to seal a come-from-behind win. Liv Bomford and Miwa Sasaki, the scorers on that night. Is there to be a similar revival in the works for Bentleigh here tonight? Fernandez trying to pick out DePetta. Fernandez continues her run and went to the ground, hoping for maybe a sympathetic whistle, but not forthcoming. So as things stand, 10 minutes remain of the 90. Candy Ferreira-Bass's goal separating the teams. That strike a few minutes ago, her 4th of the season. Brings her level with Priya Severi-Rayan as the top scorer for Boroondara this season. And as things stand, it's sending the Eagles equal top of the NPLW ladder. Level on points, 18 of them with South Melbourne, albeit quite a bit of goal difference to make up before they can be outright first place. But with those big games coming up this weekend, South Melbourne, Bentleigh, Heidelberg, Preston, chance here for Duplessis. Well met by Bridges. Just going to say that with those games of the big hitters facing off in NPLW football, there's a real opportunity for the likes of Boroondara to make some progress up the ladder. That's a clever touch from Dempsey. Duplessis did really well and fired on goal. Murphy, a strong claim. Well worked by Tolios. Into Story, back to DePetta. He now has Coco Parker on this right-hand side. Ball up, could fall into the path of Fernandez. Gucci came and wasn't able to send it away. Allen for Bentleigh. Sliding it towards Fernandez, who keeps it in play, but loses possession. Boroondara just hoping to spend a little bit of time with the ball at their feet, because they know that the Bentleigh searching and prodding will be fairly relentless for the remainder of this game. Fairly straightforward foul committed by Reagan Bridges, having given away the ball, and with that Boroondara will be allowed to make their own change. And it's Aisha Duplessis who's going to be withdrawn, so the substitute herself being substituted. Imagine that might be some kind of injury concern. But it does pave the way for Grace Norbury to make her way onto the park. You see Duplessis limping a little bit as she heads towards the bench, so shame for the new signing from Box Hill to have her night come to an end like that. And just before Norbury can come into the park, she's just getting some final works on her kit to make sure all is good. And will now look to form part of the team defence in the remaining 5 minutes of this game. Emily Collier, you see heading over to deliver the throw. Certainly not in any rush. You can understand why. Boroondara just trying to take some sting out of this game. They quickly jump back into life. Ball inside for Ferreira Bass. Goes to ground. Referee unmoved. The appeals from the Boroondara bench were vociferous, but Bentleigh could spring forward. The touch from Fernandez wasn't what was required. Candy Ferreira Bass, the scorer of the goal, remains on the deck. Boroondara can't believe that they haven't been given the spot kick that would have given them the chance to ice this game. Referee just going to check on Ferreira Bass's welfare. Coco Parker also on the ground, out of your picture in the middle of the pitch, working on some cramp. So right now, as the seconds continue to tick by, this game currently where Boroondara want it. They've got themselves a lead. They've done a good job at taking the sting out of some of the Bentleigh pressure. And Bentleigh will be making their last roll of the dice. And they next get the opportunity with a final couple of substitutions. Ellie Torre and Georgia Candelas, the two players to be brought on, as Dario Simonic searches desperately for a way to salvage a point from tonight's game. Just throughout this, Candy Ferreira Bass is getting some support from the Boroondara medical staff. It's been a really good showing from the Boroondara forward so far tonight. Of course, the goal, but has generally been heavily involved in the Boroondara attacking phases. So Torre and Candelas coming into the game. And it's the end of the night for Coco Parker. She's replaced by Candelas. And we wait to see who will come on for Ellie Torre. I believe it's Analia Coppolis who's made her exit on the far side of the pitch. So Torre and Candelas in for the final couple of minutes for Bentleigh. Ferreira Bass as well, back on her feet and running as we prepare for the final exchanges in this one. Final chance for Bentleigh to grab a late equaliser. Ferreira-Bass again looking out towards Dempsey. Supporting run made by Nagai. Saki Nagai seals the points for Boroondara. A sensational finish from range. And Saki Nagai saw the goalkeeper off her line, took a chance from a long way out. And Boroondara Eagles will be going equal top of the NPLW ladder tonight. A wonderful finish from the new recruit from Spring Hills in the off-season. Of course, was a prolific goal scorer at her former club. And that goal tonight will surely seal 3 points for Boroondara. The final substitution will come for Boroondara. It's the end of the night for Priya Saveri-Rayan, and Zoe Bennett will play out the remaining minutes of this game. And that goal for Saki Nagai, her first in Boroondara colours. A really wonderful display of her ability in the final third. And the frustration will continue for the Bentleigh Greens. Another defeat will be dished out. And of course, once again find themselves the possibility, depending on the results of FV Academy and Brunswick Juventus, of dropping even further in the table. Won't be straightforward for those couple of opposition teams, though, as we see perhaps a late opportunity for Bentleigh to pull one back. The shot comes in. Bentleigh keep their hopes alive. Late in the game, the Boroondara defence is finally breached. And maybe, just maybe, is there a chance of a most remarkable of comebacks for the Greens? Boroondara thought that they were just going to be cruising to a comfortable win, having warded off the intense opposition from Bentleigh, but right now the tension's gone right back up. It's Georgia Gugliani, the goal scorer, the substitute for the Greens. And she's once again making her way down the left-hand side. They've got themselves a throw, Bentleigh. But a wonderful moment for Bentleigh youth player Georgia Gugliani getting on the score sheet. She found herself in plenty of space in the penalty area. This is Sydney Allen on the turn. Ball sent inside, finds the header of Caitlin Story. Too close to Mia Mossman, who will instruct her teammates to get as high up the pitch as possible. Too little too late though for Bentleigh, and Boroondara go equal top of the NPLW ladder. Goals from Candy Ferreira-Bass and Saki Nagai. A couple of excellent finishes as well in the final 20 minutes of the contest. Proved decisive despite the goal from Guliani to make for a nervy final couple of minutes for Boroondara to survive. But it's the Eagles who come away with the win, and they continue their impressive form as of late. It's a third win in a row, 5 wins in 6 games for Lukavar's team, as they continue to put the rest of the competition on notice in NPLW Victoria. For Bentleigh, it's another night where they've come close, but nothing to show for it. A 4th straight league defeat for the Greens. But nonetheless, if you're affiliated with the club, you'll have plenty of reasons for optimism. They've shown that they are a threat this season. They can match it with some of the best in the comp. Just still waiting to find a way to turn that into a few more points. But on the night, it's Boroondara who come away with the win. Full-time score at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Bentleigh Greens 1, Boroondara Eagles 2.